Thank you for joining us today on the One Focus, where we help busy practitioners lean into one thing and help us learn from one another. I love listening to podcasts outside of our industry and looking for inspiration outside of our industry to bring it to my practice and now you. Some of my favorite podcasts that I like to listen to are the Mind Body podcast, the 20-Minute VC, Pivot, and the Daily Stoic. But it all depends on my mood, what I want to listen to in the morning or not listen to in the morning on my way to work, which is about 20 minutes from my house. Recently, I was listening to the Mind Body podcast where he had Tom Chi, the inventor of Google Glass, on, and he was discussing knowing versus learning. He had stated that knowing is a noun and should be used as such, and learning is a verb, which should also be used as such. I took this a little bit further, where knowing, when you're in the state of knowing, you're actually in a closed loop system, which means nothing can really get in because you're just spouting fact after fact because you're in that state of knowing. When you're in the state of learning, you're in an open loop system, and that allows things to come in. It allows you to ask different questions or see things from a different light or get a different perspective. And so that can actually curate relationships and help communication when you're in a state of learning versus a state of knowing. Right after that podcast, I had the opportunity to present to my alma mater about myopia management. And it was very apparent who in the audience was there in a state of knowing, who was there in a state of learning, and who was just kind of there. And that's okay too. But as you go through your day to day, I want you to understand when you're in a state of knowing, especially with your patients. Did you know that the average patient will only spend about 17 seconds discussing what they're there for, but we tend to interrupt them at 6 or 7 seconds into the message. So we're going directly into a state of knowing, and I do catch myself doing it, kind of cutting off that patient before I allow them to finish. So how can we curate those relationships to really be in a state of learning to better help the patient? The same thing comes with our staff members. When you go into a staff meeting, can you build questions to where you're in the state of learning? Ask them specifically, what are they upset about? Or what kind of things are coming into the phone? What questions could you help them curate better to make metrics stand out or to improve that patient communication? And you'll see them light up when you actually go into that state of learning versus that state of knowing. So that includes some moments when you, again, are with your patients or when you are with your staff. We just have to be conscious of it. So thank you for joining me today. And now activate your one focus.